Astrobot is now out, and with that came a new controller. This one in particular is kind of interesting, and a lot of this is due to the color scheme being very, very different from a typical PlayStation controller as we're seeing here, even with the little eyes in the middle. I thought it would be really fun to sort of unbox this on camera and check it out for the first time and see what we're dealing with here. Of course, the game itself is very good. If you have not picked it up, I do recommend it. Kind of calls back to the old days of some of the 3D platformers, and funny enough, when I say old days, I'm thinking back to like the Wii or even like early Switch days with Mario Odyssey, but it is a blast. I do recommend checking it out there. This on the front, this is actually like raised a bit, so it has some sort of texture to it here, just kind of around the controller with like each arrow on the D-pad and the different buttons here, the joysticks. Kind of hard to see on camera, but it is like just a nice little touch for the packaging. Again, they don't really have to do that since obviously most people take this out of the box, just throw it away. But the presentation on this is very, very good. Actually, that's a good question to some of you. When you get a limited edition controller like this, or really just any of them, and it has its own little box, do you keep the box too, like the packaging? I mean, I'm sure some people don't even open it at all and they just leave it in the box for just collection. I am curious though, if it's a controller you really want to have out and use, do you keep this part? Just like to show off or something, or put up on a bookshelf. I'm interested to see what people's take is on that. Okay, so this guy opened here. Not much, otherwise it's typical controller unboxing for PlayStation. Ooh, okay, so the center part here, the eyes are definitely brighter than I was expecting. Some people thought that these would have been illuminated. Like this was just a screen or something. No, it really is just basically painted on there. You see it there. I mean, you can see the individual dots right there on each eye, like kind of all the dots making up that blue area. Harder to see if it was just like out here where it's all black, but that is a very nice contrast. So yes, Astro is technically watching you the entire time you're playing the game. I think the sticks probably are the part that caught people off guard the most because they are just all white. I mean, basically the whole thing's just completely white for the most part across the board, but the sticks, certainly that definitely caught some people's eyes. You don't typically see this for Sony with like these white analog sticks all the way around there. And I do like kind of the blue accents here on each button: circle, triangle, square, and cross. Don't believe me? Play Astrobot. And then you have the D-pad here with the different arrows. And this part here is super glossy. I mean, look, so this whole edge here is all glossy, which is a bit different than like the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller. I mean, you can just see the gloss is everywhere. It's almost like a clear coat kinda that you would put after painting something and you want it to have that glossy look to it. So it's not glossy in the sense of glossy black, where glossy black plastic will show off a lot of scratches. You'll still be able to notice scratches on this because it'll become kind of like foggy looking almost, but it's not nearly as bad as if it was all glossy black plastic. I do like that blue looks really nice. Almost has like a glitter to it, sort of. It shines really well off of there. On the back though, we have the logo there. So that's really fun, just to have sort of this little Astrobot logo on the back at all times. Otherwise though, it still has all the little PlayStation symbols that are hard to make out. If you zoom in really far, they're all PlayStation logos that makes up the grip. All these little details, these are just indents or cutouts almost of the plastic. So that's not like painted on there. That's chunks of the plastic taken out for this design. So it has a nice texture and feel to it. I mean, it's not really something you're gonna be touching much. In fact, this is the part that's probably going to get the most wear and tear right there, which, I mean, technically, if you look at it, it's set up for where your palms would go. So yeah, I'm curious how that'll do over time, although I'm sure many people who get this are just going to have it up somewhere because it does look nice. Like if you have this up here, it's a nice looking controller just to put up on a controller stand or something, especially with the eyes looking straight at you there. It looks even better with the blue around it. Now, of course, this will change different colors depending on which game you're playing, or it might be like a red or like a yellow when it's charging, but at least when it's on with the blue glowing around it, it looks really good, plays into the theme. It's definitely noticeable, that the glossy plastic when you're holding it like this. The typical DualSense controller, it's just a smooth plastic on the sides. That might take some getting used to. I feel like I will use this controller some though. I don't know if I'm going to use it right away, as I already have my DualSense Edge that I've been using to start Astrobot, and I'm almost done the game, so I might as well just finish it there. But I do think I'm going to be using this at least somewhat. Although I kind of figured I'd have the Spider-Man controller up at all times, but then I ended up having some of the kids use it for different games where we had multiplayer. So maybe that's kind of the destiny for this controller, is that some kids end up using it over time. But still, really cool controller, like the look of it. It's really neat that Astro is getting this kind of a push where you have the game that is, I guess you could look at it for Astro's sake, would be kind of quote-unquote AAA for them, but it is a good effort, it is a high-quality game, and then you also get a nice theme controller that actually came out pretty good. Again, there's a lot of attention to detail with this controller all the way around, so I do like the look of it. I wouldn't have minded if this wasn't just glossy, though. I don't think it's really as necessary. I guess for the robot itself, you would look for it to be more glossy, but I'll also get some closer pictures and stuff to show you guys here for it, but really good stuff. I am curious, if you did pick up one of these controllers, what do you think of it so far? Are you using it? And when you get a controller like this, do you typically get it to actually use it, or do you get it to put it up somewhere to display sort of as a collector's piece? But thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.